From rescue to recovery, meaning the total dead now are 3. What all led up to this, and what are fire crews doing from here?
Joe, that's right. It is a recovery effort, a really difficult one at that. In fact, I was just told you might notice some fire crews have left. That's because they don't have the right equipment right now. It is too difficult of an operation, so they're going to bring in a construction crew around 7 o'clock this morning to reach into that rubble. This happened shortly after 10 o'clock last night. Fire crews were responding to a house fire going northbound on Broadway. The fire truck collided with a Honda CR-V that was going westbound on Westport Road. Both vehicles crashed into the riot room here on Broadway. There were 2 people inside that CR-V, a man and a woman. Both are dead. Now, recovery efforts remain underway this morning for a 3rd person, a pedestrian we are told is a woman.
This is a tragic event. I think if anybody says this doesn't affect you.
Again, the recovery has been complicated by the fact that the building is very unstable and it presents a risk to rescuers. A dangerous building unit remains here on scene. The building is the riot room. It's a music venue that actually closed its doors in October. And guys, if there's anything we can be even remotely grateful for this morning, it's that there was not a concert here going on. There were not people inside. It could have been so much worse, but still heartbreaking nonetheless that 3 are dead here this morning. Live in Westport, Morgan Mobley, KCTV 5 News.
Yes, that's definitely true. It is so unfortunate for the 3 lives lost this morning, but you are right with that perspective there. That place could have been packed if it was still open. Thanks, Morgan.
Morgan Mobley is live outside of the stadium this morning to introduce us to a man who has faithfully stood outside of those gates for 50 years. Morgan, tell us about Larry.
Well, his name is Mr. Larry Thomas. Chances are, if you've been to a game out here in the past 5 decades, you passed right by him. But he is the Chiefs' longest-serving ticket taker of 50 years. This week, I had the chance to sit down with him. As you can imagine and see from some of this old game film, there have been just a couple of changes out here over the years.
In the beginning, we had just the paper ticket, and we had to tear the paper ticket in half, give the patron half, we kept half, and then when we finished, we had to count them all up. 2002, we went to a green.
And take a look at his uniform changes over the years. And ticket prices the first season at Arrowhead, $6. Larry made a whopping $15 a game, but the real reward, after finishing up his duties, he got to stay for the game. When I asked him about the biggest difference he's noticed out at Arrowhead throughout the years, he said hands down the noise, which adds up, as Arrowhead has been named the loudest stadium. That hasn't always been the case, though, and he remembers seeing this newspaper headline in the early days.
Said that in case of a tornado, you should go to the stadium, because there's no danger of a touchdown. So you can see that in the beginning, people weren't too sure what they thought of the Chiefs.
So after 50 years of serving out here and at 85 years old, Larry is hanging up his hat after this postseason run. And guys, I've got to tell you, the reason why he made it to 50 years is his late wife. He was ready to hang it up a couple of years ago. As you can imagine, it's really hard to stand for hours on end at his age. But his wife was sick with cancer, and one of her final wishes is that he would make it to 50 years out here. He did. We know she's so proud of him, and we are too.
It's a piece of paradise.
This land is John Rogers' safe haven. He and his late wife, Betty Lou, built their home here in 1964.
She perished in an airplane accident. So it's been, one thing or another.
In a matter of mere minutes, Rogers' refuge turned to rubble.
2 o'clock in the morning, the dog came in barking and jumped on the bed. When I opened my eyes, it was just black, and the floor was so hot you couldn't even walk on it. So I crawled on my hands and knees over to the stairways, and you couldn't get your breath. It was just, and I said, "Come on, Carmen, let's go this way."
Carmen didn't make it out.
She died a hero. Can't tell you how much I thought. They say dog's a man's best friend, and she was.
Roger's neighbors have been his saving grace through this.
They brought shoes and boots and clothes.
But there is something else he needs help with.
It's just easy.
The city has shut off water out here since the night of the fire on February 2nd, but John still has animals on his property to take care of, so he's been having to carry buckets of water out to them.
Don't want to leave. That's all there is to it. I don't want to leave. So be hanging in there as long as I can. So it would sure help if we could have water for the animals.
Even empty-handed, Rogers is grateful for the breath in his lungs today and on a mission to find out why.
The Lord has a reason for you to be here, so maybe it's to help others.
And John is already searching for his next companion to carry out that mission with.
It's just hard to live without him, so somewhere there's one out there for me.
In Kansas City, Morgan Mobley, KCTV 5 News.
For us, and Morgan, the procession will be going by you shortly. What can you tell us?
Yeah, as you can see behind me here, I'm going to step out so you can just get a look at what we're seeing. They are getting all set up and ready to go. A couple of things that really stuck out to us during that funeral was people from his police academy speaking. Somebody said, give Blaze a hug for us. We'll take it from here. Now, as a reminder, Blaze Madrid Evans, who was just 22 years old, an Independence police officer, he died in the line of duty last September. Blaze was in the same graduating class along with Daniel Vasquez and his fiancee, Katie. One of the words that their instructor drilled into them over and over again in their 6 months together of training was the word together. And they said by the grace of God, that word was given to them for a reason. They said together we made it through a 6-month training process. Together we made it through when Blaze passed away. Together we sit here and grieve. Together we will get through this.